I'm originally from North Dakota. I just graduated from the University of North Dakota in May. And right now I'm participating with the Evangelical Lutheran Church of America's Young Adults in Global Mission program, which they usually shorten to YAGM. So I'm here, I serve at this school, the Lutheran School of Hope. I stay with a host family in the community, and I attend church on Sundays at the Hope Church as well. YAGM is a program that sends young adults ages 21 through 29 to countries around the world. They work with partner organizations, so a local church or organization within the communities that they're sending people. This year, 89 people were sent by the program into about 11 countries. There are 7 of us serving here in Palestine, in several different communities, and we're here for the period of a year. In the school, my colleague Carter and I assist with English classes, just helping with pronunciation and those kinds of things. And there's a lot of opportunities to work with the students, to get to know the people here, and to really understand more about the community and what they're experiencing.
And I would like you to meet Carter, his second year.
Hello, I'm from Hudson, Wisconsin, just east of the Twin Cities, and Carrie kind of covered the gamut, but I help out in the younger classrooms. Carrie mostly is with the older classrooms. I just came from the kindergarten side. We were learning number 2 today.
An important number.
And I also help out with, have you all met Pastor Emrod?
Yes.
So the church helps run a free meal program that is sponsored by the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America as well. That's a big partner. And then they partner with a local nursing home to actually host a meal. So I work, I help serve the meal there on Tuesdays as well. So there's a wonderful opportunity to meet a lot of older women from the community and some older men as well.
Do you guys speak Arabic as well?
We take Arabic lessons twice a week, which our program helps provide some funding to do.
Did you take
How's it
Arabic
going?
before you came?
I didn't. I don't know.
I had never done it, and actually I think would have been just more confusing because Arabic is so dialect.
Oh, yeah.
Dialect specific.
Yeah.
And even we talk a lot in our lessons about how this city pronounces words versus people from Gaza or from if you're learning in the universities.
Wow.
It's very different.
Wow.
I have a question.
Yes.
What is the student population, and how important is scholarships available? How important are scholarships to some of your students?
First of all, we're hosting almost 460 students this year.
Wow.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it's only one building, so that's one of the challenges of the school, and one playground, so it's a bit crowded. But the scholarships, I think, is the hope that we're looking for. Because some families really have a high number of children, and they want for them good education. And I have to be clear about one point which is important. There are only 9 schools that are run by churches. And they try, of course, the priority in these schools are always given to the Christian students. And they try to make them stay in the country as much as possible, because if we want to talk about percentages, 30 years ago or 35 years ago, it was totally the opposite. Now we almost, for example, some 85% of our students as Muslim students, and only 10 to 15% are Christians. And this was exactly the opposite 30 years ago. So unfortunately, a lot of the Christian families are immigrating, and this is because, of course, the difficult political and economical situation that they're going through. And we have to admit that Europe, United States, and Canada open to the Christians much more than the Americans. So it's easier for them to immigrate, especially that they have families, when they have families scattered. So it's like one of the major goals that we have in school to preserve this identity. And even for the Muslim students, we always also, let's say, connect with the values. So we want also to transfer the Christian values to the other religion, so that they can live together without any problem. And this is why a lot of the families bring their children here. That's why scholarships are very important, especially to those who cannot pay the tuition in the private schools. Of course, it helps a lot, and they appreciate it all the time.
Do they board here?
No, no boarding.
Of the 460 students, how many are students who have some kind of a subsidy from groups like this, and how many do not have subsidies who need them?
Yes. We have small programs like the ones that you support, and another one or two, like 2-3 students that can be paid for. But we also have big subsidy scholarship program with Finland, with the Finnish Lutheran School, and they support almost 90 students,
Wow.
but with a percent of 15 to 20% of the tuition, which is very good also. I mean, that's a good number. And of course, we always try, we have a local program also that supports number of our students, but this would be the biggest, the Finnish program. But we always have, like, we are trying our best. Of course, the church also gives some subsidy by giving to some families, to the Lutheran families in specific, to they support the kids of the staff also, the working staff, the teachers, and so we have some kind of also internal subsidies. But we're hoping that we try our best to support as much as possible. Of course, you never cover all, but it's like we give opportunities to those who are most in need.
I got 2 questions. Are there classes in Christianity taught here?
We teach religion by law, the Ministry of Education, but we have separate classes, Christian classes for Christians, Muslim religion for Muslims. Like this year, actually,
No crossover.
no, this year the Lutheran Church adopted as a new program that the pastor will give an idea about it. We are having almost 3 to 4 classes a month that are shared. The pastor will give you.
My second question was, to what extent are alumni of your school part of the financial support of the school?
Unfortunately, we don't have an alumni for the graduates, but they bring their children to be educated here. So we have a good number of children that are enrolled in the school that their parents have been taught here. And some of the teachers have taught both generations. But we have a good parent council also that do like very small, let's say, events here and there, 2 or 3 times a year that can help with supporting themselves as a support group. I would see it as that. So they support their students by providing, let's say, small battles about a better education, and so yes, we have support systems.
Good.
What percentage of your students are girls?
That's always a sensitive question. We have almost 40% of the student girls, but this is not because the girls don't go to school. It's in most of the Christian schools we have a disturbed percentage about this, because we have private schools that are run by nuns, St. John's School, and they have only girls in the school, so they are affecting the percentage. But actually, at the universities, you would find a higher percentage of students are girls.
Yes.
Yeah, we saw that.
80%.
Yeah, In the Bethlehem University.
Yes.
That I used to
It's
teach there,
huge.
most of them are girls.
Yes.
And mainly because boys either unfortunately go to jail or they have to work to take care of their families.
Wow.
A less number would go to the university.
Wow.
Can you tell us about the new campus that you'll be moving to?
Pastor Ahmad was talking about this.
Well, then you can.
Follow-up question, I was asking about students with subsidies of some kind. What is your need? How big is your need? Do you have 30 students who need help? Do you have 2? What do you think the number is?
460.
Well, let me start with this and then come back to you. Is that fine? And then I'll answer about the collision classes. The new campus is a dream that we are following. We are about 2.5 years delayed, at least. But finally this year we are hoping to move. It's a much bigger campus with a vision of 3 stages. We are combining 2 stages together now. The actual building of the school itself. On the side we have some kind of pool and a gym that we are building. Center that will serve the school and the community. And the third stage of that is a technical school.
Technical school,
so
ICT
yeah,
and the big
theater.
theater.
So that's what we have in mind. We all
It
What
should,
we
it should be
learn-
one of the biggest schools.
How big is the property?
I think
for juniors.
And you have an Olympic
4
size
dunums,
swim.
4,000.
Yeah.
For what's the name? I'm not sure.
In the American acres.
How many hectares?
Yeah, it's a big
Very
mountain.
big.
Yeah.
You can grow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
The
wonderful.
thing is, we learned from past experiences that you have a good master plan and you go step by step.
Yes.
So that is,
Small pieces.
yeah, that's what we're trying to do in this school. So we hope by the time we move there, our students will actually, the number of our students will grow and will be able to serve more people.
Double the amount. It
Yeah.
should be. It's planned to serve double the amount of students.
Concerning subsidies, no matter how we give, we still need to give more. That is the law, at least in education. When you educate somebody, you educate the whole nation. So that's part of it. We always are in need of supporting people. But at least my personal understanding is we still need to teach as well people who take responsibility of their lives. So it's not, we need to support people, but we need families as well to be able to pay some of this tuition, which will create a balance.
That's your preference.
Yes.
But the tuition by itself, like, it only covers maybe 70 to 80% of the students' education. So anyway, we're always short of money. But as the pastor said, I think when people pay even a small percentage of their tuition,
They're
they
invested.
cherish,
Yes.
they cherish the education even more.
So that is a policy that we carry here. Concerning religion classes, we live in a community and we are not alienated as a church and as a school. So we need to open our eyes to what's going on around us. And although we have a good relationship between Christian Muslims in Palestine here, what we see around us in the world, in the Middle East, is affecting us even a little bit here. So we need to take care and not to fall into a cliff. What we did is we gathered both Christian and Muslim teachers from our Lutheran schools, and we tried to reset a curricula from 1st to 11th grade. This curricula depends on Christian and Muslims' understanding of themselves. So the Christian teacher and the Muslim teacher will come together and they will give the same class. We will, in that program, we will discuss similarities. We will be able to see what does prayer mean for each of us, maybe write prayers together. But at the same time, in the higher classes, we'll start to learn about differences and to understand how to respect these differences together.
Wow. Bravo.
That is the idea of the program.
Bravo.
We don't want to leave it for the higher classes, so we want to start from the very beginning with the first grades. And the aim is not only the students, but the families as well. We will definitely have families coming and asking about this program. So this gives us a chance to maybe reach out to those families and be able to speak about our message as a school.
So the classes are more along the lines of a religion class rather than indoctrination.
More or less, the idea is we know a lot about the other, we don't know the other.
Hmm.
That's the aim of the thing. We want to know who the other is, as the other presents him or herself.
Wow.
Do you have a set tuition? Is